Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
Hey everybody, this is Ask Joshi, and with me is Cat's Pajamas. This is Game 3 in a best-of-3 series. It's the semifinal for the Team Liquid Open, number 25. The blue Terran down on the bottom spawn of Shattered Temple here is coL.Drewbie playing from South Korea. And up on the top spawn, we do have FnaticMSI.TT1, very well-known, beloved North American Protoss. He is the light blue one right here on cross-position Shattered Temple. What do you think about all that, Mr. Cat's Pajamas?
Oh, I'll tell you what I think about all that. Mostly I want to reflect on what we saw last game. TT1 decided to double expand really early on in the game, and Drewbie just never punished it. He had a couple of drops that were heading around to the conventional, natural, main, things like that, even over to the third at some point, but he never picked up on that fourth until it was just too late, and TT1 was able to just beat him by sheer macro skill. Also, he had pretty good engagements with his units, don't get me wrong, but I was surprised to see, Drewbie waiting for those drops so late, waiting to scout so late, not having any sort of map presence established.
Yeah, he kind of took a 180 from his first game where he scouted early, he kept tabs on TT1, sending in SCVs constantly to see what he was doing, but of course, that is kind of a result of Metalopolis being a lot smaller. They were at close flying positions on that game, and it was a little bit easier to check up on him. Tal'Darim Altar, it's easy to spread yourself too thin on that map, and that's actually what Drewbie kind of did with a couple of failed drops here and there. TT1 just did a good job being cautious, being prepared, shutting down all those drops, and winning the engagements by keeping his Colossi alive was actually the biggest part of that victory for him.
And Drewbie actually bypassing gas once again, so we are going to see one Rex, no gas, fast expand, and probably build that behind those four. He likes to follow this up, as is another one of those maps with just a couple of key bunker placements. You can defend your natural pretty easily. We also want to remind you guys to check out TL Attack tomorrow with Dongre. Should be very exciting, and I will be tuning in as well while watching all of Sunday's normal NFL action and StarCraft action. So please do check that out, TL Attack with Dongre.
NFL? Why'd you even say NFL? No one watches real sports.
I hosted Sports Talk Radio for a while. I have to.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, Dongre on TL Attack should be a lot of fun. Dongre actually has really good English understanding. He can understand a lot of what people are saying, even if he's not super comfortable speaking it back all the time. He just has a really good grasp of the language, so you can ask him to do specific things that I think he'll still be able to understand and give a good show tomorrow at noon Eastern for TL Attack. But right now we've got a little bit of action going on. TT1 getting in there for a really good scout. He's going to see this natural command center, or at least figure it out if he didn't see it himself. But TT1 back at his base, going very slow on tech and things like that. He's going to drop the Nexus himself as well at the natural.
Yeah, but everything looking pretty standard off of a one-gate expand. TT1 can easily follow this up with an abusive gateway attack. Just throw down 4 racks after this, maybe time it with +1, and just try and overwhelm his opponent. Drewbie, though, with the defensive position already set down, should be in a pretty good spot to defend against an early gateway push. We'll find out if that ends up being the case, or if TT1 wants to switch it up and go into tech again. Be actually only going with 3 racks, then putting down double gas, so he's going to go for quicker add-ons and additions and less of a super heavy marine composition at the beginning of the game, which I think is going to work out pretty well because TT1 decided to play so passively last time. You can get those upgrades in place, try for some sort of a timing.
Yeah. I think we're going to see pretty much a repeat of what we saw in Tal'Darim Altar as far as builds. Everyone is doing pretty much the same thing so far. I bet you 10 esports dollars, Drewbie goes up to 2 tech labs and a reactor again. Probably straight into Metavacs, followed by Ghosts. I mean, that's just kind of the linear progression that we've been seeing in this matchup for so long now, that there's really been no reason to switch even after the patch. There just wasn't anything really too affected by the patch to stop doing that. So TT1, the only thing that he might do differently is make more Immortals, but even so, I don't think he will. I think he's going to stick with normal Colossus timings or just lots and lots of gateway units.
Eventually, I do hope we see some more Immortals thrown in. Given the fact that you can actually fire on Marauders and not be kited by Stim Marauders is actually pretty powerful. I don't know if it's going to overwhelm the matchup necessarily, but it'd be cool to see some thrown in eventually. Tech Labs and Reactor setting themselves down for Drewbie, so we're going to see a couple of upgrades here in just a second as he has the gas about in place, just needs to gather a few more minerals for the time being. But on TT1's side of things, his Robo's just about to finish up. He's on 3-gate Robo for the time being, pretty predictable. Could run into 6-gate Robo in just a second, or just sit on Robo Bay Tech, mirroring what we saw last game, just like you were talking about before.
Sorry, got a little bit shaken on the replay timer there. Some people are getting upset about that sports comment, saying that it's kind of a stereotype that we can't watch esports and real sports. I'm just teasing. I mean, me and Kevin are in the same fantasy football league. I actually destroyed David Ting, the head of IPL Esports, last week in fantasy football, like 167 to 55, something ridiculous like that.
Do believe I am 2-0 though, so we're gonna go with that. Yeah. But nonetheless, Drewbie actually going into Ghost Academy this time, so we have seen small differences from him. He opened 2 racks in the first game, opened 1 Rax Effie in the second game, and went to medevacs after that. But this time, actually throwing the Ghost a lot earlier. The Ghost Academy is done. We'll see how quick he commits over to putting a few of those up, as it's just Marines for the time being. And there we go. Robo Bay now on the way for TT1.
Yep, 2 Ghosts in production now from those 2 Tech Lab barracks. I like to see that, actually, instead of the switch to the factory and medevacs. If he can get some really good EMPs with the Ghosts, it is going to help him quite a lot, as TT1 really doesn't have any advanced tech out right now. There's a single Immortal being produced, but he is going for that Bay that you would expect to see. So pretty much just going to be 1 Immortal for TT1 this game, I think, unless it just goes a little bit longer. Robotics Bay is finished. Extended Thermal Lances start immediately, but that Immortal is not out of the way yet, so he has to chrono boost it and try and push him out a little faster so he can get working on those super important Colossi.
Yeah, but once again, Drewbie not punishing this heavy investment in tech out of TT1, as TT1 still doesn't have too much of a standing army. There we go! That's what I was looking for. Drewbie going to make his way up. He's got 2 Ghosts, he's got a pretty good MM force, and he's pulling some SCVs behind this. He's going to make his way in and try and do some very real damage. That Colossus still has quite a while before it comes up. It's not being chrono boosted, and still 40 seconds away, so Drewbie's going to push his way in. 1 EMP goes down, 2 do, and Sentry, just 1 Sentry remaining with some energy. These probes are going to get ravaged, and at the very least, TT1 is going to lose this expansion. Here we go.
That probe conga line of death is something you never want to see as a Protoss player. They're actually SCVs jabbing away at that Nexus. He is going to finish it off, and the Ghosts are still going to be super important here to keep alive. Their damage output is really high, actually, if you can manage to keep them alive and pick off those Zealots and things like that, and just try and maybe stim forward and kill that Colossus quickly. You should be good to go. Good concave there. More units being warped in on the low ground. They're going to take a lot of damage. The Sentries did not Guardian Shield there. They are pretty much just falling over to these remaining Marines and Marauders. The 2 Ghosts still doing their damage, like I said, and the Immortal does get popped. Right now it's a single Colossus forcing the retreat there. Drewbie, realizing this valuable target out in the middle of nowhere, does pick it off right as he tries to get up that cliff.
Yeah, that was fantastic, and now TT1 is at a huge disadvantage. He's down a base, he's way down in economy, and he doesn't have a standing army to speak of at all. Well, in fact, nothing. He literally does not have a unit until that Colossus just popped out. So Drewbie is doing extremely well. He can sit back, regather his forces, push out basically whenever he wants to, because he's going to force TT1 either into an all-in or some sort of a ridiculous multiple expand situation.
Right, Drewbie basically just sitting pretty. He can actually toss up another Rax or 2 even if he wanted, but instead it looks like he's going to add on a reactor there to barracks number 4, just churn out some units. If he can make another Ghost or 2, that will certainly help, just in case. These 2 Ghosts that he's left with from the beginning fight actually don't have very much energy or life left on them, so I think another Ghost or 2 would actually really benefit him. We'll see if he does do that or not. TT1 getting kind of bold here, moving toward the middle of the map with his naked Colossus. There are only 3 sentries here to act as support. I think maybe that was a little bit of a misstep. I'm not even sure what he was doing with that scouting Colossus, but Drewbie just, yeah, he's got a lot of units left, and TT1 doesn't. I really don't know what to say. TT1's going to have to rebuild his Nexus there at the Natural. He's got his second robotics facility being built as well. That's kind of interesting. He just doesn't have the economy really to support something like that.
And Drewbie, though, he's taking his gold down to the over on the right-hand side, and he's at a 31 supply advantage. How many workers is he up? He's only up by a few workers, but that's relatively inconsequential at this point, given the fact that he has such a standing army advantage. And it looks like he is getting ready to push up here again in just a second. Added another ghost into the mix, and here we go. Drewbie making his way across the map. TT1 has 3 Colossi sitting on the high ground, and he's going to try and get as favorable an engagement as he possibly can, especially behind these high-energy sentries. But a couple of good EMPs go off, and that will wreck TT1's day.
Yeah, the production tab actually looks a little disheartening for TT1. It's got only 2 Colossi, which take forever to build, and then Drewbie's units are just like getting slammed out. He's getting like 6 to 8 units at a time. TT1 just with those big fat Colossi with not a ton of ground support, and Drewbie actually even has Vikings out on the field already to be able to try and pick those off if the ground units can't get in close enough. So Drewbie actually did make a couple of more ghosts there, or at least healed up the ones that he had. They do have a lot of energy still left on them for some sick EMPs. We'll see how this goes down. If Drewbie ever feels comfortable enough to attack, he's actually sitting at about a 40 supply lead right now, so any moment we could see him just barrel through the middle.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's doing that now.
I saw a few people QQing in chat, what could Protoss have done against that push? Well, Drewbie just punished TT1 for taking an early expand and investing in tech so much. You saw that pattern repeated over a couple of games and just put an end to it this time, and TT1 didn't scout this early enough coming in. Here's the engagement, though. The Vikings are starting to do work on the Colossi. A couple have gone down. Beautiful EMPs just ravage the Zealot shields. There's only a couple of sentries remaining, and then those Colossi will actually be completely undefended. They're falling left and right. The Stalkers going down as well, and now TT1, GG's, there it is, and Drewbie is going to advance into the finals of the TeamSpeak TL Open number 25 to face Xenex Hack.
Yeah, really excellent work there by Drewbie in that third game. That first attack was well-timed, well-executed. TT1 got caught with his pants down a little bit, didn't even Guardian Shield in that first engagement. Not that it would have saved his life or anything like that, it just... Things didn't go so well, especially losing all those probes right at the beginning. Oh, it's so painful, but Drewbie did a great job throughout that series there, so I have to say that he deserved those wins, and good luck in the finals against Xenex Hack, our other Terran player who's also in South Korea right now.
All right, guys, so we want to remind you a couple of things. Don't forget to check out the TL Attack tomorrow with Dongray Goo, Complexity MVP Dongray Goo. We'll certainly be tuning in for that. Should make for a very, very good show. Josh was talking about Dongray Goo before, and a couple of other things are coming up that we want you guys to be aware of. There's a ton of events that are coming up next month in esports. We over at IGN, which both myself and Josh work for, are putting on IPL 3, which is a $100,000 StarCraft tournament. So if you want to check out more about the event, please do head over to IGN.com/IPL, and you can find out all your ticket information and such over there. And also, we have our own YouTube channels, so on and so forth. I am over at YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as Cat's Pajamas SC2.
Yep, and I'm Josh Suth, or Ask Joshy. You can find all of my stuff on Twitter, Facebook, and most importantly, youtube.com/AskJoshy. I've also started branching out into a couple of other games, like League of Legends, which will also be at IPL 3 in Atlantic City in a couple of weeks, and Diablo 3 beta. I've been having some fun goofing around on there with Demon Hunter, actually. So I'm excited about League of Legends and Diablo 3. If you guys do go check out all that stuff after the finals today, I appreciate it. IPL 3, of course, and Atlantic City. I'm actually the community marketing manager, so it's my job to tell you guys everything that's going on. So I do want to mention that IGN Prime is doing a couple of great things for us with this event. You're actually going to have a chance to see first-person views at IPL 3 if you subscribe to IGN Prime. It's only $7 for a month subscription, so that is like the craziest, coolest thing I think that might come out of this tournament is those first-person views.
And for you guys who love Team Liquid as well, they will actually be competing in IPL Team Arena tomorrow versus the Korean pro team Slayers. So Slayers versus Team Liquid tomorrow. And is that at 5 o'clock? Or I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but Monday. My apologies. Monday. Is that at 5 o'clock, or are we doing it at 3:30 for Barcraft?
5 p.m. Pacific.
There you go.
Like our normal IGN broadcasts, our normal IPL broadcast, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday, this coming Monday, just 2 days from now. So don't miss Slayers versus Team Liquid. Best of 9 winners format, Clan War. It's going to be ridiculous.
All right, guys, so we're going to jump into the finals here in just a second. It's going to be Drewbie versus Xenex Hack. I hope you guys won't go anywhere because we'll have that for you in just a minute.